All right, so let's get the good, then the bad, and then the ugly.
Ah, oh, 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 oh,
The
oh,
slow
oh.
clap.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
it's a
I would.
sound of one hand clapping.
Yeah. I wish I would have saved that for the show.
Best friends.
If you missed last Sunday's Double or Nothing, don't worry, we got you. But if you missed last Sunday's Double or Nothing, what the hell is wrong with you? Well,
Check it out.
with egos.
Cue that up.
Up.
I said you better check it out. Cue that up
Yeah.
because
Yeah, really. I'm Patrick, joined as I am each and every week by my boys, Brian and Wilson Fisk over here, the kingpin. Wilson Fisk being the Michael Clark Duncan version, not the Vincent D'Onofrio version. Big Isaac, what is good, man? By the way, looking clean, bro.
Dapper down over here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Trying
Yeah.
to do something. I'm getting my Alex Trebek on today since this is YouTuber versus each other. At the same time, I got some other stuff going on, but I'm gonna do my best Alex Trebek impersonation. So
I think I'm onto something here. So RJ is the AEW elitist. You are the intellectual savior of our wrestling masses and the smartest guy in the room. I am the Reverend of the Rant, the pastor of Pissed Off. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Don.
I like that.
The Big Don.
I like.
Write it down, seal it up, print the T-shirts.
The Big Don of Wrestling with Egos over here. Big Isaac. Gentlemen, let's talk some AEW Double or Nothing 2021. I have to be honest, and I wish RJ were here for this part. By the way, rumor has it next week. Rumor has it. Can't confirm nor deny it, just in case he's not able to show up. But rumor has it next week. I wish RJ were here for this one because I would like to be able to tell you guys that this past Sunday was the very first time I actually paid for an AEW pay-per-view. I may or may not have borrowed somebody else's login multiple times to watch it. We won't name names, Reginald. But I gotta be honest, $50 well spent. Probably the best $50 I've spent on a pay-per-view.
In a couple of years?
Since best $50 I've spent on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania 25 or 26.
I cannot tell you how heartwarming it was to see a full house at a wrestling show. Exhibit A, the first match of the night was Brian Cage versus Hangman. And Brian Cage came out and he got a typical heel reaction. It was kind of an indifferent reaction almost.
Yeah. But
Hangman came out and blew the roof off the place.
But at the same time, I wanted to jump in before you mentioned the Hangman thing. But what do you expect from a guy who came out dressed as Terminator? 3 people have done that in wrestling in the last several years. Triple H, Brian Cage, and Kenny Omega. And guess what? All 3 look stupid as hell.
They did.
But you're right in the fact that Hangman got the pop Drew should have gotten to begin WrestleMania.
It just goes to show Hangman's over as hell. I mean, he's at the point now where he might be able to do no wrong.
Hangman, I'm starting to look at in a completely different light. I've always been an Adam Page fan. By the way, news broke today. He and his wife were expecting baby number 1. So, congrats to you guys. I've always looked at Hangman as a main eventer. I've always looked at him as a potential AEW World Champion. Hang on real quick, Isaac. After past Sunday, I see him as even more than that. He is the Tommy Dreamer of AEW. What Tommy Dreamer was to ECW, the heart and soul of the promotion. I think that is becoming Hangman. Hangman could never, at this point, I honestly think, could never win another championship and will still be in AEW and still be God. He holds that audience in the palm of his hand to the tune that there might only be 1 or 2 other people on that roster that can do it more than Hangman. We'll get to both of them later on because they came in the pay-per-view later on. Honestly, I thought my thoughts on the match. I thought it sucked. And it wasn't because of Hangman. Brian Cage to me got exposed as boring. I find cool. He's a big guy. He can do all of these things. But when you're in, and he got over as hell in Impact. He got over as hell in PWG. Number 1, he needs to be on his own and get him the hell away from Team Taz. Like, as far away from them as possible. And number 2, for all the things he did in other promotions, he's in a promotion now with a bunch of people that do the same shit he did, but bigger, stronger, faster, higher. So Cage, to me, is getting lost in the shuffle. Good, bad, or indifferent. And also, please, can we please? I could literally pull a Simon Miller from What Culture and give you my ups and downs on this entire show because I've watched it at least 40 times. My 2 biggest downs from this match were Brian Cage as a whole. Well, 3. Brian Cage as a whole. Brian Cage looking like Terminator, and Taz on commentary. Please, for the love of God and all that is holy, can we please get Taz? Can we please get Peter Senercha off commentary?
Well, not for nothing, Patrick, but
yeah, I will drive to Richfield and I will slap you. Stop. All right.
I will drive to Richfield just to see you slap me, just for apparent reason. I need to get in my car.
You gotta.
Yes,
you
please
gotta
continue.
You got. Here's the thing, and this is how bad Taz got. Mrs. Rant Mode On is not an AEW fan. She finds it to be a little bit of a knockoff. You know, she called it Dollar Tree Wrestling once. She's not a fan.
Ooh.
Mainly for several times she watched it, she was watching Dark instead of like Dynamite. So I can't really fault her because Dark, in my opinion, is hot garbage. Sorry, RJ. Sorry, Dave Meltzer. Actually, no, Dave Meltzer, I'm not sorry. You can go to hell. You suck. My wife is sitting here on her spot on the couch. It was like, and making fun of Taz, going, "Oh, I can cuss all the time. I'm gonna do it every sentence. Damn it, shit, damn it, shit, damn it, shit." To the point I laughed so hard I ended up messaging the guys. Exactly what my wife had said. I'm like, That was the Brian Cage highlight for me, was my wife making fun of Taz. I'm done with this match. If you guys want to go and say something about this one, awesome.
Let me jump in real quick. And this is your opinion. You guys can both jump in. Do you think the Hangman is ready to go after and be talked about in the caliber of Kenny Omega to take one of those belts off of him?
Yes, 1,000 times yes. Here's my problem with it, and I'll keep it brief, Brian, and I'll let you have this one. I want to slow play it so bad it's not even funny. I do not want to see this culminate until Double or Nothing 2022. My opinion. I'm done. Brian.
I've come around on that too. I think, a good wrestling booker is going to see how much they can maximize this pop and this goodwill. I think it's a foregone conclusion that Paige will become the AEW champion at some point. That doesn't mean it has to be tomorrow. So, I think you either have him go after maybe the TNT championship at some point later in the summer, hold that for a while, or you introduce another, another championship that's underneath maybe the AEW one, or you have him start making moves toward Kenny, but have it, escalation that we love that we love to see, so that we're talking about this time next year where he finally, he has to go through all the minions, as it were.
Not just that, but I mean, you could easily have the slow gravitational pull toward them starting essentially now, where, hey, Marvel over the course of 10 years worked out an entire storyline that led to Thanos snapping half of existence out of existence. And guess what? They did it pretty damn well.
Yeah.
A professional wrestling company can take 365 days and keep these two guys away from each other and looking in opposite directions, but have them slowly coming closer and closer together until, oh, by the way, guys, now it's time. I mean, I could do it. I'm not saying I'm like Dusty Rhodes, the super creative genius or anything, baby, but I could do it. Anyway, let's move right along, because there was a match that you didn't mention, even though that was the first match on the card. We had that hell of an NWA Women's World Title match between Serena Deeb and Rio on the buy-in, and that was good. I'm still not a fan of Rio. She's alright. Serena looked really, really good in this match. Very technically sound. She's not flashy. She's not.
I'm a fan of Riho for the simple fact that I can't name you another wrestler quite like her. I still don't understand how somebody with her size is able to move with the ferocity that she does. Because that was the thing that got me about her last year when she was, champion for a little while. Was just, she's hanging in there against Nyla Rose, and she's like, taking it to Nyla Rose and people like that. And I just like, what am I watching here? I just didn't understand it. So the novelty of it for me is what makes me love Riho quite a bit.
Right. Like I said, I have never really understood Rio. I mean, everything she does, somebody else does better. Don't get me wrong, she does things very well, but she doesn't do anything, in my opinion, to set her apart from anybody. So just kind of, I mentioned I'm not even going to mention, I had the Dave Meltzer ratings pulled up. I'm not even going to mention them. Here's what Bleacher Report gave them, and it was by giving credit where credit is due. It was Eric Beeston from Bleacher Report gave the buy-in match a B, gave Hangman and Brian Cage a B. I probably might have gone C+ on that one. And then we start having some fun. Remember how I mentioned that there's might be two people in AEW that might have the crowd in the palm of their hand more than Adam Hangman Page? Well, one of them is Jon Moxley.
Oh boy.
Okay. Before we get into Moxley and Kingston versus the Bucks, all right. I think it might have been last week, and I made mention that I just wasn't feeling it with Moxley coming to the ring to Wild Thing. Okay, with a full
no more.
Hell yes. Oh, okay. So, and I'm sure because the man behind the character of Jon Moxley is a creative dude. I know this wasn't an accident. You go back and watch the footage of their entrance. He kicks the door open for them to walk out as soon as the lyrics kick in. On beat. I mean, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, kick. I'm like, okay.
Trivia question for both of you.
Yes.
Where did that version of Wild Thing come from?
Really?
Really?
You're really going to ask me that? The movie buff.
Yes.
Major League.
Very good. Just checking. Making
Really?
sure.
Seriously, we're going to sit here. He's a movie buff. It happened in Cleveland. My team, the Indians. Wild Thing. Come on now. Charlie Sheen.
Actually, it didn't happen in Cleveland. They filmed it in Milwaukee.
He packed up everything, and he says, I'm coming, Cleveland.
But Brian is right. The movie was filmed in Milwaukee. But different story, whatever. But
They were about my team, though.
I know.
Okay. Back to wrestling, guys. This is why we love wrestling. This is why we love baseball, even though we love baseball.
We'll get to that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk baseball next week. Baseball with Egos coming to you live. Anyway, that entrance. I used to think that with Moxley's old music and a full crowd when they were still in arenas before global pandemic bastards shut everything down,
Right.
that he would whip a crowd into a frenzy. Damn! This took frenzy whipping to a whole new level. This was just like, oh my God, he is about to start a freaking riot. And it was awesome.
And that's just the way he likes it, too.
You know what? I'm just realizing I need to start a counter right now. This is about to be my number 2 ECW references tonight. That was a Sandman entrance.
Basically.
Yeah, okay.
That was a Sandman entrance. And it's not just coming through the crowd, rock and roll playing. No, it was those two things, but getting the crowd worked up to a rabid state.
It was communal.
Awesome. And the Bucks came out as only they can. I'm really starting to like the smug Bucks.
Oh, you want us to shoot things in the air? We're not going to do that. Oh, you want us to pose? We're not going to do that. Oh, you want us to do? We're not going to do that.
Right. Or they're going to wear their $1,000 designer Nikes to the ring. Hell. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. Then again, I'm a cheap bastard. I hate dropping $150 on a pair of Brooks. That's just me. I beat the hell out of shoes. I don't. Anyway, really good match. My only complaint, I felt like it was an over usage of the hot tag.
Really?
I thought there were too many hot tags. Moxley's in trouble. He gets to Kingston. Kingston's in trouble. He gets to Moxley. Moxley's in trouble. He gets to Kingston. One more time, boys and girls. Kingston gets to Moxley after he's getting his ass kicked. And then there's the finish. Don't get me wrong. It was a damn good match. It was fun. I would agree with Bleacher Report in the fact they give it an A. mean, the Bucks hit the Indy Taker out on the ramp. There was a little bit of shenanigans with the Elite getting involved. Brandon Cutler got pieced up, which was funny as hell. I like what they're doing with Cutler. I really like that. Just kind of becoming like the spineless lackey, which is awesome. My biggest criticism of the match, would it have hurt Rick Knox, the referee, to acknowledge that one of the Young Bucks that both of the Young Bucks were in the ring illegally for way too long, like about 5 minutes nonstop?
I saw that. I saw like a conversation on Twitter during the week that AEW needs to train their referees better to at least, look like they're trying to get tag teams to follow the rules and stuff like that. And I tend to agree with that because part of me is still used to, or part of me still wants the appearance of a set of rules that you need to follow when you're in a wrestling match, even though it's scripted, even though it's a storytelling.
Right. They've got two referees that do that. Rick Knox just isn't one of them. The two that actually do that are Remsburg and Audrey Edwards.
Yes.
And Bryce Remsburg and Audrey Edwards, I think, are great at what they do. But yeah, I mean, the inconsistency in that irked me. And here's the thing. This is how good of a pay-per-view it was. I'm having to get technical to find crap to bitch about. I mean,
and especially in a big moment like that, like you start to pay attention to some of that. When you got four of the best in the world at what they do in the ring, you're not going to get botches from them more often than not. So yeah, you tend to look at who's getting involved outside interference. You tend to look at the officiating. You tend to look at stuff like that.
Bucks pick up the win with copious amounts of BTE triggers. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they use to write Moxley off so he can go be with Renee when Renee has the baby. Rumor has it once Renee has the baby, Moxley's going to actually host a couple of her podcasts.
Cool.
That could be interesting.
Could be.
But after you're done watching this, that's a good podcast to listen to as well. It's Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette. Really good. She was a great interview in WWE. Of course, she's an even better interview now because she doesn't have someone telling her what to say.
And who she's also interviewing. She's got some great people that she has on there. Not just wrestlers, but just some great, solid interviews. Really appreciate what she's doing with that.
Right. B, let's not spend a whole lot of time on this. Let's talk about the finish and overall. What were your thoughts on the Casino Battle Royal? Bullet point it for me.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little let down that Lio Rush was the wild card. It was nice to see him again, but I love the finish of the match. Because the fact that Jungle Boy is now in that position, the fact that Christian put him over the way he did, I love to see it. It was heartwarming. It was nice to see Matt Hardy back in a position where he's trying to call the shots and everything, but then the way everybody disposed of Private Party and the Hardys, and it came down to Jungle Boy and Christian, I thought it was a beautiful moment for everybody involved.
I did too.
Big props to all of them.
I wasn't let down with Lio Rush because I love Lio Rush. I mean, he to me is one of the 5 best cruiserweight, light heavyweights, whatever you want to call them, junior heavyweights on the entire planet. And with as quick as that man is, he's a video game. I mean,
what I was waiting for. I fell for the trap of I was going to get an, oh my God, it's this person. And insert name of person here. I know why it couldn't be certain people because their non-competes aren't up and whatnot. But man, could you imagine how that crowd would have gone if, they had been blessed by the power game or something like that? I mean, that crowd would have gone bonkers. But Rush made a good showing of himself. But again, I'm very, very happy for Jungle Boy.
I am too. That is a guy who is sneaky good, to use Brian's term. Sneaky good.
And he's put in so much work in the past 3 years too to get to that point.
Yeah, he's been AEW from day one. He was one of their first hires, one of their first announcements. I mean, when they were launching it and they were on the cover of like Entertainment Weekly and other magazines, he was a part of that initial media scrum of interviews. I mean, just like, hey, you know, this is what we're doing. Because it was like Cody and Hangman and him and Britt. We'll get to her in a little bit. Yeah, she had a crappy weekend. We'll just put it that way. She had a really crappy weekend. Poor girl. One thing I wanted to say about the Casino Battle Royal, aside from everything you mentioned, which I complete with 100%, Powerhouse Hobbs sucks.
I don't have much use for him.
There isn't a single thing about Team Taz that has any value to me whatsoever. I mean, Brian Cage is boring. Powerhouse Hobbs is
garbage.
No, he's no. I will not call him garbage. I will not call Powerhouse Hobbs garbage. He has some qualities that, if they're ironed out, he could be pretty good. The reason I won't call him garbage is because Ricky Starks is a part of Team Taz. Ricky Starks is the worst thing in wrestling. Everything about this guy sucks. And then there's Taz on commentary. Not for nothing, but he really sucks. So you know what? My big down for AEW, Double or Nothing, was Team Taz. But yeah, pumped about Jungle Boy getting the win. You know what else I'm pumped about? I started watching a new TV series as of late. And it was really cool how they got a crossover from the Amazon series The Boys into AEW Double or Nothing with Cody Rhodes dressed as Homelander.
Is that what it was for?
For those of you, Ryan, I'm making a joke here, but for those of you that don't know about The Boys, it's about a bunch of superheroes that are all arrogant little twerps. And there's a group of regular people that are trying to keep them in check. One of those superheroes is a guy called Homelander. Imagine if Superman had a god complex. That's what Homelander would be. You know.
Oh God.
And Homelander's outfit, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Brian and Isaac, you'll have to wait until I post this thing. But here's a picture of both Homelander and Cody Rhodes from Double or Nothing, and they look similar. That's the first thing I thought when Cody Rhodes came out. Brian, I'll let you choose. Can I get my rant out of the way, or do you want to say what you have to say about Cody Rhodes and Anthony Ogogo, and then I drop a whole bunch of verbal napalm?
I'll say what I have to say about this. Cody is in a very weird position right now. I feel like if he's not going to be around a title, then he should be using the cadre that he's got to build some new stars. And I'm not talking nepotism here either, which was a phrase we've bandied about here. I'm not talking about putting over his brother. I'm not talking about putting over QT Marshall or whoever. I know they're opposed to each other now, because the Go-Go looked like he's been putting work in. A Go-Go looked like he wanted to take this seriously and, you know, make his countrymen proud, you know, make his family proud, and give something to the AEW fans. You know, so maybe this is a chance for you to have a nice 7-8 minute match where there's some give and take and all that, and put a Go-Go over if you're going to be doing work with him down the road. Instead, it's just another chance where Cody's going to, invoke the name of his father, which I guess he has the right to, and put himself over. And the whole angle has just been poorly built. That promo from last month came across as a clunker, like it landed like a wet blanket. And this was the clunker of the night for me. So that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It was a wasted opportunity, is how I'm looking at it. Cody doesn't always have to win, lol.
What? He doesn't always have to win.
We'll pretend this is a grenade for right now. Here it comes, boys and girls. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1.
Rant mode on.
First off, here, let's get the good thing out of the way. Anthony Ogogo's entrance theme was sick. Sounded a whole lot like Red Right Hand, which is a callback to the Peaky Blinders TV series. Sick. That was the only good thing of the match. All right. Aside from Cody coming out dressed as Homelander, which, by the way, if there's a superhero on any form of TV, comic book, cinema, whatever, that you're going to dress up as for Memorial Day so you can cosplay as the American Dream, that is the worst one of them all. If Captain America and Superman had a baby and he turned out to be a complete and utter asshole, you would have Homelander, and that's who you looked like, Cody. Furthermore, I loved, and by loved, I mean I wanted to vomit at your remix of your entrance theme featuring the London Symphony Orchestra. The horn section and the violins and the orchestral. This is not Symphony and Metallica. This is not Kiss Symphony. By the way, both of those sucked too. And you had to John Philip Sousa your entrance theme, which is as if you aren't pretentious enough as it is. And then you dress even more pretentiously. You now have the single most pretentious entrance theme I have ever heard, which means your appearance, Cody Rhodes, at Double or Nothing 2021 was the most pretentious thing in sports I saw all weekend. And here's the problem. The Indy 500 ran on Sunday as well, and that's the most pretentious thing of all time. Finally, you get in the ring. It was a decent match. Anthony Ogogo did what he could do. Popped off a pretty decent frog splash for a guy that's only had 2 TV matches, counting the one that he's currently having at this point. Decent frog splash. Good presence. Cody beats him. By Cody, I mean Triple R, not Triple H, Triple R, because, you're burying everybody you get in the ring with. And you don't beat him with your finisher. You beat him with the vertebreaker. Don't get me wrong. I like the vertebreaker. It's in my top 5 of favorite moves to see put on. But if you're going to beat somebody and you're going to have this U.S. versus another country angle, use your damn finish, you pretentious twerk. You're not, I'm sorry, Cody, you are not your dad. You are not even your brother. You are the 3rd most charismatic member of your family that wrestles. I don't know. Maybe your mom has more charisma than you. Your wife, no, your wife wrestles. You're the 4th most charismatic person in your family that wrestles. Because, your wife had that promo on Jade Cargill before she got pregnant, and that was pretty hot. You've uncorked one good promo in your entire life, and that's when you called Jericho a stupid dick. I'm tired of the pretentiousness that is the American douchebag Cody Rhodes. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of him. He has to win, but by the way, he can't shout. Here's the thing. This is why he can't challenge for the AEW World Championship. He wants to beat everybody. So he lost to Jericho so he can beat everybody else. I mean, I'm sorry. My opinion, there was no way in Black as Hell he should have beaten Brody Lee. Brody Lee should have kept that title. Unfortunately, it would have been vacated after the man died. But Cody's got a Cody. Hogan must pose. Cody must win. Rant mode off. Which brings us, actually no, doesn't bring us because there's another match that happened. I forgot. To quote Big E, not Big Isaac, not the Don, but Big E, big meaty men slapping meat. Miro and Lance Archer. He made that reference because in Big E's dream match, it's him and Goldberg. So, to say that this was a technical masterpiece.
I'm sorry. I had something to throw out. My bad. I'm sorry.
Exactly. This was about as as much of a technical masterpiece as the last few things I was saying just a few minutes ago were calm. We're calm and thoughtful and considerate and full of happy, joy thoughts. Yeah. Really? Dude, I'm sorry. This was a demolition derby car wreck, and I was here for it. B, what was your thoughts on Miro and Archer?
I thought this match was exactly what it needed to be. You're not going to bury Lance Archer.
Now,
Archer's going to get his stuff in, but Miro, I think they finally unlocked the key to his presentation. He was always meant to be this unstoppable force. And,
I mean, even before he cut his hair, when he was the U.S. champ rolling up into WrestleMania in a tank, you could see it. This man was supposed to be a killer, not a wrestler, not a sports entertainer. This man was supposed to be exactly what Isaac's doing, a killer. He, for the brief time that he got to do it, he was supposed to be, oh my God. There you go, Brian. I know you. Yep. I know you. Some.
It's my God. Yeah.
Exactly. Miro is. Miro right now is everything that Rusev should have been. The promos that he has cut leading up to and since becoming AEW, the TNT champion, have been epic. Mentioning to Darby Allin, it's the man that doesn't mind dying versus the man that doesn't mind killing. Like, oh, that's good. He wins the title. The first thing he does is legitimately thanks his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for making him the monster that he is. I'm like, yes. As you know, one, as a Christian, I appreciate that, and two, as a wrestling fan, man, that's awesome. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the ability to kill people. You're awesome. Yay, God. But everything about Miro, hey, it's a casino theme, right? Double or nothing. Everything about Miro in AEW since he's gotten away from Kip Sabian is coming up sevens. I mean, everything. And honestly and truly, I want whoever beats Kenny, I want him fed to Miro. It would not break my heart at all if Hangman beats Kenny and then a month later, or maybe even the Dynamite after drops it to Miro. Wouldn't hurt my feelings if they continue this. Because Miro right now, for a guy that loves heel work, Miro right now is as good as it gets.
I agree.
He is a certifiable nightmare. And I love it because, certifiable nightmare, you build it the right way. Oh my God, who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him? You get the crowd worked up into a frenzy because somebody gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer every time, and they still don't do it because How do you kill Jason Voorhees? How do you kill Michael Myers? You don't. Basically, AEW has the opportunity right now to do what WWE could have and should have done with The Fiend. You want to move on?
They dropped the ball. But they did.
And now we get to my favorite part of the night. And there's a reason that earlier I went rant mode on. Because the next match was the crowning of MD. Okay. Before we get into this match, I want to share with you bullet points. The conversation that was happening amongst us during this match, RJ included. Synopsis: this match isn't match of the year. This match is up there with Bayley and Sasha from Brooklyn as one of the greatest women's matches ever. This match was everything. Back and forth, false finishes, hitting each other with the kitchen sink. Sheeta trying over and over again to hit the Tamashi, finally gets it. Britt kicks out. Botched interference from Rebel. Britt trying to get to sink Lockjaw in. Just that cat and mouse, that, to use a Larry Zbyszko-ism, that proverbial game of human chess. And after 18 minutes, Britt Baker is now your AEW Women's World Champion. Well deserved. This is someone who, in the last year, especially in our year of the global pandemic bastard, has turned into one of the best heels in wrestling. And this is how you know you're good as a heel. You're still a heel and you're getting over. You're getting pops. Her music hit, that crowd went up. I mean, she got a reaction on par with Jon Moxley.
And I saw a neat moment too. Somebody posted the video. They were sitting behind her parents, who were ringside.
I have not
and
seen it.
when she made Sheeta tap out, her dad just started jumping up and down. That's my baby girl. She's the champ. She's the champ. And they, her husband and wife, their mom and dad hugged, and it was awesome. She did it. She did it. It was beautiful. And she's just watching him, acknowledging the crowd, and then she turns their way, and they shared a little moment, like she broke character a little bit, but then she went back to just being, that's right, I did it, So that was nice to see.
John Vito, you got something.
I don't mean to interrupt because I'm also doing 15 other things. AEW, right now, of course, they're interviewing Mark Henry, about him coming in. Surprise, surprise, Vicky Guerrero brings out Andrade. I shit you not. He is in AEW in the ring as we speak. I'm taping it. I'm not listening to it because I'm focused on you guys, but I'm sorry. I had to drop this in because this is big. This is huge. He's there right now. Hello. Yes.
Mine too.
Shut up and take my money. Andrade, look, we'll get back to Britt here in a second. I've been on the Andrade train since NXT, when he was NXT champion, when he was having that banger of a match with Drew when he won the title, when he had that banger of a match with Johnny, which won Match of the Year. Had the banger with Alistair when he dropped the title. Oh my God. Andrade in AEW, huge.
Huge is not the word, because enormous, gigantic is another word that I would rather use instead of huge. But this is not just big. This is, yeah.
Yeah. This was the guy that I was kind of hoping would have been the Joker. Don't get me wrong. Seeing Leo Rush twist people into pretzels just because they can't catch him is still fun as shit. I'll never get tired of that. But damn, this is huge. Back to Brett. Well deserved for someone. Again, you're supposed to be a heel, but when you win the title and you do your DMD, air chant. Hey, that DMD was about as loud as, here's your third one, any RBD in ECW history. That was huge. Two things I loved. One happened during the show. That genuine moment on the ramp with her and Tony Schiavone. Because her and Tony Schiavone have done a lot of the backstage YouTube show that they do after Dynamite. And you can tell Britt's not in character for this. It is not Dr. Britt Baker DMD. It is Brittany Baker. The woman, not the wrestler. And you can tell there is a genuine friendship there. And to see that was cool as shit. And that might have been the coolest thing I saw dealing with anything AEW. Until Tuesday morning, okay. I am Dr. Britt Baker. I am in awe of you. Not only because you're a great wrestler, not only because you're smarter than any of us, because, hey, you're a doctor. None of us are. So, yeah, you ain't dumb by any stretch of the imagination, lady. I think the kids use the term flexing. When you're showing off what you got. I'm not the most. I have zero street cred. Am I using the term right? Brian, you teach kids. Isaac, you both.
Yeah, you got you.
It's flexing, right? You're showing off what you got and to say I'm better than you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Britt Baker took flexing to a whole new level on Tuesday because she's back at work, being a real life dentist. We've joked about that a million times, but hey, she really does this. Videos herself sitting in one of the exam chairs with the in her scrubs with the title draped over her like this. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, that's flexing. That is flexing that nobody else can do. Yeah, I'm the champ and I'm a doctor.
Let me jump in here real quick and do a little quick sidebar. Now, I didn't appreciate WWE posting, when Britt had to job to Nia Jax. That was dirty as hell. And that was dirty as hell. Go ahead.
Considering what we're about to talk about in a little bit, I'm not surprised. And I got something to say at the end of our next segment. And yes, I know we've already talked an hour. Sorry, guys. Gonna be a little bit of a long one. You might want to watch this in parts. That's why I'm going to have this up as soon as possible. It'll be up on Saturday. If it's not up on Saturday, you guys, if it's not up on Saturday, at Rant Mode on Twitter, light my ass up. Accountability, boys and girls. Here we go. But yeah, it's going to be a long one tonight, boys and girls. Strap yourselves in. I might actually even cut this into multiple shows. Hey, why not? I'm the editor. I'm the editor. I'm the producer. I'm the director. I can do what I want.
I do it.
Whatever. I do what I want.
I'm not only the Wrestling with Ego's president, but I'm also a client.
Anyway, but yeah, that was dirty shit. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. That was, in my opinion, and some people will disagree. RJ probably will too, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. And this time, I'm not gonna invalidate your opinion. But to me, match of the night, far and away. And then we got our, as some people would call it, the let me up match. Because, hey, you got to have time to breathe. So we got Sting and Darby Allin versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Here's the problem. It wasn't a let me up match for me. Why? Brian, who's my favorite wrestler of all time?
It's Sting!
The last time we saw him actually wrestle in a wrestling, Seth Rollins almost killed him. So no, I wasn't like, okay, I need a breather. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go whatever, flip a load of laundry. Honey, wasn't happening. I painted my face as a kid, like that dude. As I was a little Stinger. Ride or die, Father Mucker. So I gotta be honest, the match itself was not that great. But for Sting to be 62 years old, yeah. Old dude can still go. Old dude still got it.
My favorite part of that match, what made it for me, was the sheer look of terror on Ethan Page's face when he got hooked into the Scorpion Deathlock. He sold it so brilliantly. He's like, oh no.
What I also loved, go back and watch that and look at some of the faces you get from Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky has gone on record multiple times over the course of several years. When he was a kid, he was a Sting fan. That was his favorite wrestler. Part of the reason he's Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
The look on Scorpio Sky's face was like, okay, I'm trying to stay in character and I'm trying to act afraid of this guy, but oh my God, I'm in the ring with my hero. There were times when they first locked up, I honestly thought he was gonna get emotional.
Can't fault him.
I wouldn't have blamed him at all. I'm like, hey,
I'd love to get some ring time with the Stinger, man.
You're living the dream, dude. You're living the dream. Like, okay, I'm a professional wrestler, and I'm in the ring with my idol.
Take me to school, Mr. Borden.
Yes, this is my life. Check that one off the life's to-do list. I love the fact. But here's what I thought was really cool. You go back to Revolution and that fight that Sting and Darby had against Team Taz.
Yes.
And Sting painted his face up to look like Darby. Darby flipped that and painted his face to look like Sting for Double or Nothing. I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is cool. But what popped me, you talking about Ethan Page being in the Scorpion Deathlock and the look of sheer terror and pain, the look of shit on both of them when Sting's on top of the poker chips, takes the sweatshirt off, and he's in his gear, pounds his chest and cross bodies. I was like, yep, here we go. For a nostalgia factor, I loved it. The match was the match. I mean, hey, it was a great let me up match, but like I said, I wasn't stopping, I wasn't slowing down. And then we get to our main event. Let's kind of go through it as quickly as we can because we got more shit to talk about.
Here's what I would say about this match. This is when Kenny Omega justifies all the hype. When he's not cutting promos and weaseling out of matches and, carry my belts for me and all this other stuff. When he gets in the ropes and he has a match and the switch goes on, it doesn't matter with whom. I can't wait to see Jungle Boy wrestle him. It's going to be fantastic. And Pac and Cassidy have had great matches with each other. This for me is a candidate for match of the year, and I will tell you why. There were multiple moments throughout the whole match where I thought all three guys legitimately could have won, and I would not have been upset about it.
Right.
And they also kept the interference basically non-existent. There was no run-ins from 65 people.
Right.
Which I was praying to God wouldn't happen.
Yeah, just the one from Callis at the very end when Orange
Right.
Cassidy laid both guys out with an orange punch.
Yes. So, I mean, these guys, and it also shows the evolution of Cassidy.
Oh, God.
He is turning into a lot more than a comedy punchline. And I would go so far to say as now he is very believable as a guy who someday with some more polish and some more refinement could be an AEW champion, and you wouldn't have a problem with it. Maybe last year you'd have a problem with it because he was still too much of an unknown commodity. But Cassidy as champ makes a lot more sense now than it did 12 months ago.
I agree. He's still.
And Pac is Pac, and that enough said on that. I mean, if he becomes the champ, yes, you shut up and take my money because you have my attention, sir, and you are not to be messed with.
That's where I thought it was over. Pac hit the black arrow on Cassidy, and Kenny was dead outside the ring. I was like, oh crap! And then
they're doing it.
Being into the ring over the bottom rope just to hit him in the head at the last second. I was like, oh.
He almost didn't make it.
No, he didn't.
That was like 2 7/8.
Yeah, there were several times where they cut it real close. I mean, there was one point. I don't know if you guys remember it. I can't remember which fall it was. I want to say it was one where Cassidy was trying to pin Kenny, and the fans were chanting that was 3.
Yes, and I rewound that a couple of times because I had to watch that match the next day because I fell asleep.
Yeah, Remsburg slowed up on that one.
Yeah,
he was coming down on 3 and realizing that
they're not responding.
Responding, wasn't paying attention, whatever. And yeah, I mean, great match. All 3 guys had a great showing. I would not have been upset with either of them taking home the gold. But I'm glad Kenny did. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate Kenny Omega for being one of the best in-ring performers in the entire world. Top 3 best in the ring. The other 2 guys, in my opinion, are over in Japan, and one of them's out with a neck injury. It's a British guy, a Canadian guy, and a Japanese guy. I have never been a massive Kenny Omega fan. But that match solidified with me. This guy needs to hold on to that title and murk several other people. This needs to be the slow build. Getting the title off him needs to be the slow build. Just like getting, Marvel reference again, beating Thanos. You got a slow build to this.
It's very similar to what they're doing with Roman Reigns. They're going to slow build to someone taking the belt off of him, but they're not going to do it for a very long time, and they're not going to do it until we get live crowds back together at WWE.
No, they won't, and here's why. It's going to be some random person that they draw out of a hat. That, oh, by the way, you're going to enter into a program with Roman Reigns, and in 3 weeks you're going to beat him for the title. I mean, they'll decide 3 weeks before the pay-per-view that Nakamura is going to beat him for the title. Or they're going to call someone up from NXT, and oh, by the way, you're going to beat him for the title. There will be no build-up. WWE does not know how to do that. They are, at this point, incapable of doing that. We will get to them in a little bit, and trust me, believe it or not, I have nothing good to say about World Wrestling Entertainment right now.
No, let's not say that, because we we don't have anything good to say about WWE Entertainment. That is some hot garbage right now. We'll go into that later.
I can't speak for the other two gentlemen on this forum. I can only speak for myself. You guys can echo my sentiments all you want, and I'm here for it, because it means I ain't got to argue. But I was only speaking my truth. We'll get to it in a little bit. So B, last question for Double or Nothing. I'm not going to ask you to give it a letter grade, because if you're not giving it an A, I'm leaving the house right now and I'm driving to Richfield.
You know, you keep saying that, and I haven't seen the headlights play across the garage door yet.
Well, you haven't done anything to warrant me slapping you in the next Tuesday. Hey, we'll keep the cameras rolling, and as I walk down to your basement, I'll text Isaac and say, ask him the line from Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Story. Hey Brian, what did the five fingers say to the face? You might want to
Hello.
Give me a minute. Be right back.
All right, so you gotta like that. You might want to get that. That could be the phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
John Callis on line 2.
Yeah, right. One storyline. Pick one storyline from Double or Nothing. Where do you want to see it go?
I'm curious to see who they position to take on Britt next. And I feel like
that's where I'm going to. Keep going.
I feel like, I mean, you're not going to have somebody come and take the title off of her right away. Good heavens, no. She deserves a lengthy run with this. So I feel like this could be a chance for Chris Statlander to maybe get her feet wet and work a program over a couple of months. And I'm not saying she should come within an eyelash of winning the title, but, you know, they could do worse.
We forgot something real quick.
What did we forget?
We forgot the Stadium Stampede.
Oh, that's kind of important.
Yeah, kind of important. All I'll say about it, a great cinematic, fun match. In my opinion, it was supposed to serve and successfully served its one purpose. Get Sammy Guevara over. And
I am going to give Sammy Guevara some mad props for the totality of his efforts since the problems of last year surfaced with the comments he made about Sasha Banks and all that. I'm not going to dredge it all up again because there's no point to it. But the image rehabilitation that he has undergone, the work he's put in, and the high-profile spot he now finds himself in, which is so richly deserved, by the way. He's one of the true MVPs of AEW, in my opinion, over the past year.
Agreed.
Because other people have gotten swallowed whole by controversies like that.
Right.
He has shown genuine remorse. He's willing to move on. He's willing to repair his image. He's willing to put in the work. I couldn't be prouder of the guy.
I agree with you in all of that. He is a guy I think he is the Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, that's 4.
Yeah, your 4th ECW reference. He's the Rob Van Dam of AEW. He's the next star, like mega star. Not just okay, yeah, he's a star. He's the next mega star. Jungle Boy, as great as he is, I don't think will ever be in that lofty upper echelon of the it guy of AEW.
And this is a great problem to have, by the way, because we've already talked about 5, 6, 7 guys and gals that are ready to have, and I hope they bought stock in all these rockets that we're strapping to people. It's like I said about SmackDown last year when we did the draft. We're strapping rockets to people.
Yeah,
because I drafted for Raw. We're strapping rockets to people on Monday Night Raw here. It's a great problem for AEW to have.
you're just making it rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's what I would do. Getting back to the question I asked you about what angle, what one storyline you would take forward, it would be Britt. This is going to come out as Wrestling with Egos blasphemy, but I'm going to say it for a reason. Give me right now, give me for All Out in that Chicago crowd, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, and Britt has to win. Why?
I just don't know if it's too early for that. Yeah, that's why I suggested Statlander.
Circle it, and here's why. Circle it back. Run it back. Basically, Britt's entire championship circle will begin and end with Thunder Rosa. Because, her rocket push began on, in that unsanctioned no holds barred match on St. Patrick's Day. Excuse me. It will end later on down the line when Thunder Rosa finally gets the finally gets her legitimate win over Britt.
Full gear, anyone?
Huh?
Full gear, anyone?
Yeah. No. 2022.
Revolution? Okay.
Revolution, Double or Nothing. But this needs to be a case where Miro being champion, it needs to be who's going to stop Miro, who's going to stop Kenny. My opinion on this, you need to put the breadcrumbs out there that it's going to be Thunder Rosa. But it's not a question of who, and it's not a question of why. It's a question of when. And Tissa. Moving right along. Now we get so we had the good, now we got the bad, and then if time permitting, we'll get to the ugly, which consists of me stomping Brian's ass. My title, my freaking jungle. Anyway,
I'll kick this discussion off. Because since these releases happened, I immediately went on the show chat and I started, bemoaning it. And I've read some other things that have come to light since then. And this is all, keep in mind, gang, this is all speculation. That's all we can do on Wrestling with Egos is, most of the time, is until we hear something concrete and we hear something firmed up, it's pure speculation. But earlier in the week, several names were released from WWE, most notably Braun Strowman and Aleister Black. And we all got upset about it, rightly so.
And confused. And confused is another great excuse.
But I want to say it was Thursday when I started reading some articles that hinted as to the bigger picture, as it were.
Yep.
About why these things are happening, potentially. So I will put this out there, and then I will let everybody react to it. We can say our piece about it and move on, because I quite honestly don't want to spend an insane amount of time on it. But at one point, when the current chief financial officers and stuff like that took over, there were something like 300 wrestlers under contract. And they kind of took a look at the books and they decided, okay, there's no way we can get all these people on television, even with all the hours of television that we have. So maybe that's why we need to start tendering some releases and things like that. And the speculation now is that's usually something you do in advance of potentially selling the company. And it made me wonder, maybe the succession plan that we all thought was in the offing all these years isn't happening. Maybe Vince has just decided, and this is again just speculation, maybe Vince has just decided, I'm going to sell it to whoever wants to buy it. It's not going to be Triple H. It's not going to be Shane. It's not going to be Stephanie. Whatever. I don't know what the succession plan is, but all I will say on the matter is this is WWE's business plan of hoovering up names for the sake of hoovering up names so they can't sign elsewhere, coming back to bite them in their ample size posterior.
Amen.
I get upset when I see people that I love languishing. The name I'm going to bring up first is Samoa Joe, and I know, I'm too predictable on this show. I understand that he couldn't stay healthy. I get that. You can't plan for injuries, but when he was healthy and he was on the main roster, you misused him. And maybe we should stop calling NXT the developmental, because it's not anymore.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And when you can't adequately use women outside of a handful, the 5 or 6 that you trust, and you let them go, I'm sorry, Ruby Riott was one of the most talented people I ever saw.
Amen.
And you never, ever gave her the shot she deserved, in my opinion. And then you spent all that time, as Patrick, I believe it was you that brought up during the week, you spent all that time turning Strowman into a monster and putting the championship on him. And you just spent all this time going after, or repackaging Aleister Black so he could feud with Big E and all this kind of stuff. Poof. So it makes me upset. It makes me depressed. And it makes me focus even more on AEW and NXT than I have in the past, because I just don't like this feeling of not knowing where things are headed. So I will turn it over to you, gentlemen, and let you react, and then we can get on with our lives.
I will let Patrick have this because you can tell he's sitting here waiting for the hot tag. So go.
First off, real quick, I mean this in the most manly way possible, Isaac. Mwah! Thank you. Not only did you build Braun Strowman up to be a monster, Patrick, I'm waving at myself so I know I'm about to drop the F-bomb. You fucking fed him Goldberg at Wrestle freaking Mania. You fed him Goldberg. You barely fed The Undertaker with Goldberg. You beat The Fiend with Goldberg. And you fed him to Strowman. You fed a McMahon to him this year at WrestleMania. And you release a guy that you yourself built from the ground up. It's not like you brought him in from the indies to be in NXT and then develop into the star that we all knew you could be. You brought him in because Mark Henry saw him at a strongman competition and thought, wow, you'd make a hell of a wrestler. Obviously, Mark Henry being the mind that he is, there's a reason he's working for AEW now. He was right. You start him off as a rosebud. He's carrying Adam Rose. There's a name I thought I'd never say on this friggin' show. Adam Rose to the ring. That guy. And then you put him with the Wyatts. Don't get me wrong. That was dope. And then he becomes the guy that's just the whole time. And you slowly start to see it, Like, okay, this guy's got something. This guy's got something. You're gonna get these hands. Like, okay, there's some intensity to this. I kind of like this. You turn him face. You start to see the personality. The Symphony of Destruction match with Elias when he's playing the stand-up bass like a guitar because the man is so freaking gargantuan. Here's my only fear, and yeah, there things that I've read are because Braun Strowman's contract was huge, and they cut him because of that. I think there was another reason behind that, and I've already mentioned that person's name. Isaac has mentioned that person's name tonight because Vicky Guerrero interrupted him. Mark Henry. My opinion, this was a receipt.
Can I go?
One last thing.
Go ahead.
It surprised me because as petty as they've been, wouldn't surprise me. One last thing. I forgot to mention Aleister Black, and I will make it quick, Isaac, so you can go. I promise. You mean to tell me you spent 3 months building up this Dark Father angle, not only with the backstage vignettes, but you put animation to it. You turn this into something like, oh my God, this looks freaking badass. You come out, you kick Big E in the face. There's a program right there. That is a 6-word program, boys and girls. Shut up and take my money. Released 2 weeks later. And the reason 2 weeks later, you didn't even have him on TV the very next week. Now we know why. This is a guy who, in NXT, again, if you can be a killer in NXT, and once you get to the main roster, you suck ass because they don't know what to do with real talent. I mean, come on. They were trying, of the guys in the Shield, the guy they wanted the least was Rollins. Moving right along. Another case of an NXT star that had all the tools that you didn't know what to do with because he's not Hulk Hogan ripping off his t-shirt or Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, it's someone that actually has more than one dimension. Rant mode off, part D.
Okay, first off, I'm disappointed with all the people that they let go. That was just horse. That was horse shit. Bottom line, they have so much potential. They had so many great athletes under contract, and Vince is the only one that's doing anything. He's writing everything. He's writing things 3 hours before the show begins, and he's not. He's so micromanaging every single detail. I honestly think he's run out of ideas, and he doesn't know what to do with somebody like Braun Strowman, like a Aleister Black, like a Ruby Riott, like all these other people that they let go. Lana, I like that she was with in the tag division, and she was with Trinity. I like that, but they don't know what they're doing, and it's bleeding through the TV. And you guys, as well as I know, we in the past haven't seen anything this bad in a very, very long time, and they're throwing up air balls when it comes to basketball, and they aren't even coming close to the net. They couldn't throw them in the ocean right now and make a basket. Is how much shit we're putting out there. I'm disappointed. I'm upset. They need to do better, but they aren't going to do better unless Vince lets someone else take the reins and put out some new stuff, or give it back to Paul Heyman and let him develop it, But I'm not saying Paul Heyman's the answer.
No,
Don't-
no, I'm not saying don't give it to Heyman. I'm saying they're not going to do it because they're, if anything, what Brian said right. They're going to sell. Nothing's going to change at this point except for the worse unless they sell. And honestly and truly, if they sell, it's going to get even worse. Because family as a whole won't have anything to do with it. Okay, cool. No more Vince. No more Shane. No more Steph. Cool. No more Hunter. Criticize him all you want for how he was when he was world champion. But all of those indictments go away when you look at his body of work from NXT. I'm sorry, he goes from the biggest asshole in wrestling to one of the biggest saviors, all because of the black and yellow brand. So I'm sorry, but for me, from now on, no, don't get me wrong. Something big happens on Raw or SmackDown, we'll talk about it. I'll watch highlights, but my wrestling is now on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's AEW or NXT. That's it. I want. Does anybody else have anything they want to say about this? Because I would like to have some fun. We have been at this for an hour and a half. We've started with some really fun stuff. Now we're doing this. I would like to end this show on a positive note, win or lose. More than likely win, but win or lose.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go with it.
As you know, we have been having this little trivia game of ours for the last couple of weeks. Can't wait to get RJ back on this one next week. If he
shows up.
If he shows up.
Yeah, if he shows up.
If he shows up. If you were with us last week, we had a hell of a number one contenders match between Brian Kriego and Big Isaac, with the distinguished Mr. Kriego pulling out the victory, which means may I do the introductions, and I promise to do the introductions fairly.
Okay. Sure. I mean, what can we say about it at this point?
In this corner, originally from Buffalo, New York, now residing in Richfield, Ohio, he is the number one contender. He is the intellectual savior of the wrestling masses. He is the man with the largest dictionary known to man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Professor, Brian Kriego. And his opponent in the other corner, wearing blue trimmed with red and gold. Height, none of your damn business. Weight, skinny but fat. Originally from Oxford, Alabama, now fighting out of Barberton, Ohio. He is the reigning and defending Wrestling with Egos trivia champion. He is the pastor of Pissed Off, the Reverend of the Rant, the Lord and Master of the Coliseum, Patrick Swafford. Hi, guys.
And your host,
the man,
L. Johnson. Kidding. All right, gentlemen. This is what we're going to do. Now, I thought about this, and this is a widespread. So here we go. This sort of goes towards Brian, but not all towards him. Now, hear me out. Shut it. We all know this. We all know what it is. So I'm going to start it off with people that have lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. People that have lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
All right, I have a question about this, Mr. Moderator. What
Yes.
happens if we run through the topic?
If you run through the topic, I thought about this, and I was going to have another backup, but I'm going to be honest with I've got My second topic will probably cover the first, but I do have another one. I got actually two in the back of my mind. I have to do a quick look up.
Let's go with it and see what happens.
Let's just like I said, let's go with it and see what happens.
As the challenger, you go first. People that have lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Oh, actually, I got like three. Yes, go. People have lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Wait, we will do a parental coin flip.
No. Challenger goes first.
All right, challenger.
Triple H.
Triple H. Yes, twice. Mr. Swafford.
Shawn Michaels.
Yes, twice. We all know that.
Isaac, if I may.
Go ahead.
Sorry to be a know-it-all. Triple H lost 3 times.
3 times. Yes, that was
Kane.
Sorry?
Kane.
Yes.
Okay, go with an easy one or go with our start really hitting them. All right, yeah. Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
One of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time, CM Punk.
Yes.
And his name is John Cena.
Yes.
Giant Gonzalez.
Wow. But yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Shane.
Yes.
Snuka.
That was the first person you beat. Yes.
Randy Orton.
Yes. WrestleMania 13.
13.
Oh, I was 21. Pardon me.
Big Show.
Yes. Go ahead. I know what you're gonna say. Now, with that being said, at that WrestleMania, he faced Big Show and another person. That person you can also mention if you need to. That is available.
I'll go ahead and get it out of the way. A-Train.
Yes, thank you. That is the WrestleMania I'm referring to. Mr. Krieger, I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of time to think of the next person.
Vince McMahon.
He did not face Vince. Amen. McMahon at WrestleMania.
That was Royal Rumble, damn it.
So right now, I give it to Patrick. You can end this.
The two I have multiple that I could rattle off. I could easily you mistakenly said that he beat Randy Orton at 13. I could answer that one, but we can't do this list without mentioning his victory at WrestleMania 18 when he beat the Nature Boy.
That is correct. That was his 10th victory. 10-0.
He beat Sid at 13.
Thank you. Okay, now there are a couple other people I'll make mention that he did not beat, which you guys did not mention. King Kong Bundy, Diesel, Psycho Sid, Big Boss Man.
In a Hell in a Cell, and I had that one in my back pocket because I was going to mention after the match, the Brood hung him.
Yes. Mark Henry, Batista,
I forgot about Batista.
Edge, and AJ Styles.
You're missing one.
Hold on. Edge, Batista, Mark Henry, King Kong Bundy, Jesus, like I said, Kane, Big Boss Man. Who do you think I'm missing?
Jake.
Oh yeah, Jake Snake Roberts. That was the second person.
Yep, I'm about to say because
I had it up there right under Snicker, so
he beat Jake's ass in less than 5 minutes.
All right,
Okay.
not off to a good start. I should have done way better on that. I have the freaking DVD upstairs, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
On to the next
question. So we'll put a pause on this. No one had won or lost, but my next one. This is interesting. People that have beaten Hulk Hogan for the world title. Now, hold on. I'm not just talking WWE/WWF. I'm talking WCW. I'm talking AWA. I'm talking old. I'm going old school. I'm throwing out a lot of names here. So this is general, but this is also specific. So like I said, I'm trying to bring y'all to another level here. That's why I got the suit on. But this is, I thought about this. I really did. I'm just saying.
All right. B, action to you.
Ultimate Warrior. Jesus, mother, God.
Yes.
I can tell Brian's frustrated on this one.
Because nothing is coming in my head, and I'm about to like flip this table over that I'm sitting at. You have no idea how much effort it took me to come up with Ultimate Warrior, for crying out loud. And I'm not asking for pity. I'm just really upset with myself right now.
I apologize for the topic, but I thought it'd be good.
Don't apologize for the topic. If I'm worth my salt, I should be able to name more than one person without stammering.
Maybe if I throw out a harder one, maybe you might think outside of whatever box you're in. So I'm going to go Lex Luger.
Yes.
I've never been perfect. Never beat him.
Brian, I'm gonna need you to come up with something soon.
Ric Flair.
Yes. Patrick.
Andre.
Yes.
Kevin Nash.
I do not have Kevin Nash.
That was the other. The finger poke of doom was the other way around.
Yeah. The finger poke of doom was the other way around. Patrick, you can end this. I'm sorry, Brian. When you hear it, go.
I I know you're upset, and I don't. I'm sorry. Sting.
Yes. Okay. Now, I went back and I looked. Brian, you're going to be really upset when I say this first one. Undertaker.
Yoko.
Yokozuna.
Let me. I had one in my head. I just want to ask to see if I'm right. If I was right on this one. Did Vader beat him?
No, Vader did not beat him.
Okay. I couldn't remember who beat who. I could not remember who took the WCW title. The Giant. The Giant took his WCW title off him the first time.
Yes, that was Paul, a.k.a. Paul White.
Right.
Okay. Now, of course, we didn't mention the biggest Monday night that they ever had was when Goldberg took the title off of him. Of course, we could also, Sting has done it multiple times. The Undertaker has done it multiple times. Ric Flair, when they interfered in the Royal Rumble, interfered in Flair, and they put the title on Flair at the Royal Rumble, that type of thing. Bullet Bomb Armstrong. Yes, I look it up. Look it up. Hold on, Bullet Barb Armstrong, Nick Bockwinkel.
You're talking a.
Also, Antonio Inoki. Yes.
He was
also.
Hogan had the IWGP title once. You son of a bitch.
But here's the thing. You said you wanted me to go deep, so I'm going deep here, people. I got some others.
Hey, what title did Bob Armstrong take off of Hulk Hogan?
He took it off him. I don't know exactly which one it was. I will tell you, and I will send you a message on it. But he beat him for the world title. I do have that information. Now there were others. Ron Fuller, Austin Idol. But yes. And also the title when it was vacated to Sting after the whole Stinger incident and how he bitched about how he didn't lose at Starrcade, blah blah blah. You guys remember that? But
did Savage take it off him in WCW?
Savage never took it off of him. Remember, him and Savage went to war, but Hogan was basically what 1A,
right,
or 1B.
Savage took it off him in WCW though, like pre-NWO.
No.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
No.
Wow, that was it. And I got to be honest, I didn't have many. I didn't have many answers left.
Okay.
That was off.
Okay. I should tell you the third one, but I'm gonna save that
Yeah,
for another time.
save it.
I hope that these were challenging enough for both of you guys to think about. I got some others,
I-
but like I said, I thought really long and hard about these, and I thought these were hoping that these will challenge both of you.
The
So,
next Isaac moderates this, I'm scared. Holy crap.
we sit here and we spar with each other a lot. So this is what I'm making. You guys were making me think. I'm gonna make you think.
Hey, you know what?
I want to step outside the box. I want to step outside the box, and that's what we need to do.
Brian, if I could reach through, I'd shake your hand. You know, good match,
Gentlemen. Very good. I'm very happy.
Reluctantly, I raised my championship high. My best friend is, beside himself right now. I, as a benevolent and slightly arrogant champion, I had prepared a victory speech in preparation for should I retain tonight, but with Brian being kind of, to use a Krigoism, apoplectic.
No, go ahead. You
No.
prepared it. Go ahead. Because clearly I should have done way better. In my mind, I feel like I should have done way better, and I don't want any pity. I don't want any concessions. I don't. If you've got something you want to do, go ahead and do it, and it's fine.
Yeah, because I did this.
Because I'm a man and a half, and I can take it.
Because I did this straight up sheer out of comedy because I think this is funny as hell. And at the same time, I'm doing this not really for you. I'm doing this so I can watch Isaac's reaction as I do this because this is going to be great. My victory speech, much as I am a Southerner and a massive fan of college football, when your team scores a touchdown, there's a fight song. And circling back to our good buddy Reginald Johnson Heisman, Georgia and Auburn both play similar fight songs. It's Georgia's main fight song and it's Auburn's secondary fight song, their own version of Battle Hymn of the Republic. Ahem. I've seen the glory of an ego that's elite. The suffering will end when you are trembling at my feet. You suckers need to realize that I cannot be beat, 'cause the rant mode marches on. Glory, glory, rant mode on. Glory, glory, rant mode on. Glory, glory, rant mode on. And the rant goes marching on.
Should I even respond?
I mean, usually those fight songs have like 12 verses.
What'd you say?
I'm a little disappointed. I said usually those fight songs have 12 verses. I'm a little disappointed that you only had one verse.
Auburn's only has one.
I'm not going to respond.
Come on, Isaac. Come on.
He's trying to impress us with his wordplay.
Nah.
Come on.
I'm not.
Come on. Give me. Come on.
All I will say in response is this is not the last you will hear from the number one contender. I will go back to the drawing board. I will tend to my wounds, and I will be back. You have not heard the last from me. You may think I'm just a fly on your windshield, but it ain't over.
I do not think you were a fly on my windshield, my dear friend. And out of respect tonight, I will leave it at that. And the champ goes marching on. Before we get out of here, gentlemen, Any final thoughts?
Yeah, as we speak on Dynamite, it's airing tonight because of playoff basketball.
And LeBron
The
losing.
Bucks,
And LeBron losing.
yeah, my Phoenix Suns got the job done. The Bucks are wrestling Penta and Pac tonight. I don't know if the titles are on the line or not, but I don't care. Cue that up. That'll put me in a good mood.
As soon as this is over, because I usually don't watch TV while I'm doing this, because you guys can see the reflection of the TV in my glasses. And when I edit it and I see that, it drives me insane. It's bad enough you guys being able to see my light right there in my glasses. That bugs me, and that's going to bug me as I'm editing this show tomorrow. Isaac, final thoughts.
One, good to see everybody. Third, the quick edit on why I'm wearing a suit, not only just because I am Alex Trebek today, is because I lost a family member who I'm going to bury tomorrow. So rest in peace to her. Everyone else, just have a great week. Brian, finish strong at school. I finished this week. Thank God I'm tired as hell. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
And meanwhile, I just studied, so yay!
Summer is here. My birthday is Monday, so you know what? I will turn up sooner rather than later. But I got some things I gotta take care of. But gentlemen, have a great week.
Happy 21st.
We send you all our best. We hope your friend rests easy.
Yeah.
Much love and respect to you and your family. And again, happy 21st birthday, my friend. On that note, we're gonna get out of here for the big Don over there, Big Isaac, for the defeated but wonderful best friend of mine, Brian. I am your reigning, defending trivia champion, the ego that ate Manhattan himself, Patrick. We'll see you guys next week on Wrestling with Egos, because this is why Brian hates me, but this is why we love wrestling.
He just keeps putting himself over.
Jesus
over
Christ.
Again.
2 years, you ain't figured this out yet, Bubba?
Good night, everybody.